Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky. I go to war, I'll fight. Damn right. Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky.
Welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Show. I am your host, Franco Zavala. Thank you very much for joining me. This is episode 76. Guys, it's been about a little bit over 30 days since I've actually been in front of the mic. Took a little bit of a hiatus, needed to handle some personal situations when it comes to my oldest daughter, Brinley. She's getting married. Been dealing with some issues on my own that I kind of fight my way through, and I wanted to make sure, I always want to make sure that the information that I give all the stepdads and stepmoms and stepparents on here is going to be with clarity, with no... I don't want any fog from my personal life to kind of transfer over to this. And what I mean by that is I definitely am going to share everything that I can with you that I'm permitted to. But at the same point, you know, there are going to be things that happen with me that I gotta make myself, you know, I gotta put myself through first in order for me to understand it, for me to understand the methods in which to take care of it, make sure that it works, and then share it with you guys. The last thing I want to do is try to tell you how to handle the situation within your home, or handle a situation with your kids, or your wife, or the in-laws, or the parents. The neighbors. When I haven't tried it first, and that's the biggest difference between me and a lot of the people that talk on this subject matter of being a step-parent, which is everything that I've ever shared, everything that I will share with you guys is tried first by me, failed first by me, succeeded, and then shared. So I want to make sure that you guys always understand that. Real quick, before I go any further, if you have not, please like, subscribe, share. This is YouTube, but I get most of the views on Spotify and on iTunes and on SoundCloud. I'm trying to figure out how to put the show from YouTube to Spotify for video form. But again, like I said, I was diving into that. As you can see my board behind me, there are outdated dates on there, things that I did not even accomplish on my own because, like I said, I had to go through some personal stuff. But if you have not, please like, subscribe, share with as many step parents as you could possibly think of. So today's episode, I'm going to be answering a question from a gentleman that sent me an email through our website. Now, the website is currently being revamped. It's one up right now. It takes a little bit longer to load than I like, but I'm finishing the simpler version of it. But this gentleman sent me an email at theprofessionalstepdad.com, and I wanted to read it because I think it's really smart on his part that he's even asking this information. And when as a stepdad, as an individual that speaks on this subject matter, when I get emails like this, it brings so much joy to my heart to know that there are men out there who really strive to become the very best man, leader, father, husband that they could be within their homes, even if they feel like they have to take a couple steps back first in order to succeed. And what I mean, that's going to parlay into this. This gentleman has 5 kids. He's been in their life for 6 years now. For 6 years, he hasn't really put in the necessary work that he needs to. Now, he's close with the children, but he also struggles with some. Like he said, it's been 6 years, and he really feels like he's starting from day one. So I think this is wonderful. I think this is a wonderful question to ask because it's an awareness factor for you, sir. It's an awareness factor for you as a leader, as a mentor, as a man, as a husband, as a father, as that individual in the home that strives to be the very best that you can be. It's an awareness thing for you that is so breathtaking to me because you sent this email to me, which is awesome, dude, because that means you had the mental faculty of awareness to send an email out going, oh, shit, I'm struggling and I want to be better and I want to become the very best that I could be. But I have to make my peace with the fact that I kind of dropped the ball. You know, you probably hit the ground running. You probably did everything you could to support and love each and every individual within your home. but you probably forgot to take care of you first, or you forgot to take care of you and your partner, and you forgot to take care of the necessary work that it takes in order to get to a position to where when you find yourself struggling with your kids, you know how to properly communicate with them. And that is a big disconnect with any family, especially step families, especially from stepdads. And I've said this in the past, which is we jump in and our immediate reaction is get the kids to love and respect me and to see me as their, new leader in the home, or to see me as dad, or there are a lot of stepdads who are like, I don't need them to see me as dad, but they need to respect what I say. Those little things. So we do everything we can. We give them everything they want. We tell them what they think they need to hear, but we're not really putting in the necessary work of communication to figure out who they are as a person in order to get to a position to where when we do hit bumps in the road, that we can handle it in a way that is progressive and it doesn't knock us off our not pedestal, but it doesn't knock us off off balance. So he asked me to create an episode for him, and this episode 76 is going to be specifically for you. Here's the thing. First, give yourself a round of applause for being aware that you do need work, that you do need help, that you are not perfect, that you maybe zigged when you should have zagged. But it's awesome, dude. It's awesome that you're aware of it. So give yourself props for that, because as a stepdad, as a man, as a leader from the military to out here in the civilian world, I can tell you that when an individual is self-aware, it is priceless. So well done, sir. So it's time to take those steps back. What do I mean by this? So you're struggling with some of the kids, but you're not struggling with the other kids. And maybe they swap and it goes back and forth. A lot of it has to do with your individual, the individual work for you, the work that you're doing to make you better, why you react, why you say certain things, why you hold on to certain grudges, or you do certain things as a parent that your parents did to you that don't work, but it's like a default button. That self-awareness is going, okay, I got to take a step back and I've got to take a piece of paper out and I got to start writing down all the pros and cons of me. Pros and cons of me, not just as a stepdad, but as a man, as a leader. I got to start writing down the things that I like about me and what I've done right, and the things that I have not done particularly well. And you need to analyze that. And it's time to do the self-work, which means it's time to read the books. It's time to start understanding who you are. It's time to start taking a mental accountability of your daily responsibilities within your home. It's time to come up with 6 daily action steps that will allow you to progressively move forward along your journey so that you can see success. But it comes down to the work. It comes down to the individual work that you need to do for you. That means your habits, your routines, and your schedule that you keep now are probably not conducive to the type of home that you would love to have with the children and with your spouse. So we need to revamp those. You need to work on them again. And I'm reading this book right now. I always have books on my desk, but I'm reading this. Well, I just got done with this book. It's called The Obstacles of the Way. And the reason I wanted to read that book is because as step parents, we see obstacles and we think, shit, another obstacle, another thing I got to overcome, another person I got to satisfy, another back I got to scratch, there's so many different variables to that, obstacles. But when we can look at obstacles as stepping stones towards greatness, then we can begin to see obstacles as a necessity in our life. And the obstacle that you're having right now is the communication, the relationship that you have with all the kids at once together, the communication you have with your family when it comes to in-laws and your parents and the neighbors and the them people, and the communication that you have with your spouse. More importantly, the honesty that you have to have with yourself, which is, I have good intentions. I can be great, but I do need help. And I cannot seek books and seminars and workshops until I'm properly mentally ready to be there. And that's one of the biggest problems that a lot of step parents have, is they find themselves struggling, and the first thing they want to do is they want to reach out to other people that are struggling with them, and they want to see what they're doing, they want to read what they're reading, they want to attend what they're attending. But because nobody's ever done the self-work, nobody's ever taken the time to identify their insecurities, their idiosyncrasies, the things that make them tick, why they react, why they blow up, or why they cry, or why they're emotional, or why they think, you name it. You end up getting the same result, which is a step parenting world that is constantly going in the same direction and not much progress moving forward. Now, there are certain individuals that step out and become great and accomplish amazing things, but for the most part, just like regular parenting is a struggle. Marriage is a struggle. Being a leader is a struggle. And the only way to properly overcome that, good sir, is to work through the obstacles of you first. You got to get to know who you are, brother. You got to really do the work. And again, that comes with that legal pad, writing down the pros and cons of yourself and what you do good and what you don't do good. And be honest, by the way, because if you lie, you're only lying to you, right? You're only lying to yourself. And then when you're ready, share that with your partner. I mean, the teamwork, the ability to be on the same team as your spouse with communication, with discipline, with parenting, with love, with admiration, with emotions, the ability to be on the same page is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But it is impossible to get there if you haven't done the self-work first. If she's not doing the self-work, it is impossible to get there if she hasn't. For instance, I dealt with a gentleman who he was doing the work and he was doing everything he needed to do, but for some reason he could just not break through to his spouse. Here's the reason why. She never did self-work. She constantly judged every man that came into her life, and she compared them to her last relationship. Her heart was broken. She didn't take the time to mend. That means there is no trust within the relationship, and she will look for that reason to either leave or blame you, so you leave, etc., etc. It's important that once you start doing that self-work, that you share what you're doing with your partner, because you want them to see that you're wanting to grow and you want them to grow with you. And that's where that teamwork comes in, right? Now, I can go off on a tangent for the next hour and a half, 2 hours on all the specifics that you should possibly do as a stepdad in order to get yourself into a position where you're not winning, but where you can at least see yourself in the fight. If I was to compare it to sports, it would be like not winning the game, but playing the game, but being on the field and not sitting on the sidelines watching. So that's my advice to you, brother. My advice to you would be, like I say, your awareness is awesome. The identity, the ability to identify the fact that you need help is awesome. But don't let that pass you by. Take this as a wake-up call, like, holy shit, I need to change. And that doesn't mean change who you are, change all the things about you. There are wonderful things. Look, you've been in the family 6 years. There's something amazing about you. You're still there. They still see you as this person in their life that they want to trust and love and let go and share with. And that's awesome. But you got to take that step back. You got to go, okay, this is where I want to get. This is where I currently am. Forget everything that happened over the last 6 years. Let's start today with me. I'm going to become a better me. And then I'm going to show everyone how awesome it is to become a better person and to identify your flaws so you can work on them to be a better person. Because if they see you doing things, remember, lead by example. You are the biggest influence in their life, whether you like it or not. Yes, I know there's social media and TV and stuff, but you will be the biggest influence. I know this because I see myself in every one of my kids. But well done on the self-awareness. Hope that helps, man. And please keep me posted. I really want to hear about it. All right, guys, episode 76, path to 100. Gonna get it before the end of the year. That's my goal, to continue to put out information when it comes to being a step parent. And I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm excited. I have joy in my heart because I know that my purpose is to change the narrative around what it means to be a step parent, to positively influence stepdads on a global scale. This is my purpose. And if there's a way I can help you, that's what I'm here for. I just love to share the stories. And I got some amazing stories that happened over the last 30 days that I will share with you, promise. But I want to make sure I get this episode out first. So again, episode 76, Professional Stepdad Show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming, for joining, for listening, and I will talk to you soon.
Be your everything, your blue sky. Yeah, yeah. I go to war, I fight. Damn right. Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything, your blue.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.